Hi, I'm Dave Briggs. I'm the interim operator of the Briggs Opera House, as many of you know, and so I'm wearing the Briggs Opera House hat this morning to talk to you about a once-a-year treat that I give myself, sort of, called the FaLaLa Holiday Review. It's the one thing that I have been the producer of, but this year something different has happened. But first, let me tell you about the FaLaLa and its evolution. It started on the year that we took over the operation of the Opera House upon Northern Stage departure, and the White River Ballet Academy said they wanted to do a holiday review. And then they found out that they didn't have quite enough material for that. So we put our heads together in a hurry and decided, what if 5 arts organizations got together and each did 10 or 15 minutes or 20 minutes? And so out of that came the FaLaLa Holiday Review. 2 years it was done as a tribute, once to the unforgettable Dale Howe, who tuned all our pianos for many, many years, and then to Rob Gaddy, who's produced those wonderful musicals at Hartford High School. But this year is a little different. It's merging into a new era. The FaLaLa Holiday Review this year will be December 7th at the Briggs Opera House, marching off at 7 p.m. And the sponsor this year, not the sponsor but the producer, is Habitat for Humanity. And so I want to talk a little bit about Habitat, and then we'll come back and talk about this year's FaLaLa before we end. So with me this morning, I'm pleased to have the Executive Director of Habitat, Andrew Grimson, and President of the Board, Vreni Gust. So welcome.
Good morning, Dave.
Yeah, it's really delightful to be working with you as we go from me being the producer of this event to you being the producer of the event. It's been really great working with you. Andrew, it all started with a chance meeting, right?
Yeah, one of those hallway meetings as we were walking through our office, from our office towards yours, and just a conversation around what's going on in the Opera House, what do you think about doing, and you mentioned about the holiday review, and lights went on in both our heads at the same time saying, hey, this is a chance to do some fundraising for Habitat and also talk about what we're doing and celebrate our work, and a chance for you to really utilize the Opera House for something for a good nonprofit.
And so as the executive director, you went upstairs to your board.
I went to my board, to Freddie, and said, we've got a great idea.
And we were thrilled about the opportunity to partner. It's a great collaboration with the arts and to benefit our mission, which is affordable workforce housing in the Upper Valley.
Let me take that into some detail before we march on here. This year's arts organizations feature original involvement with the White River Ballet Academy and the Rack-On Dance Studio. And as I like to say, we have everything from ballet to belly dancing. So that's dance. We will also involve theater in the form of Valley Improv, who will bring all the glue that holds these acts together and make us laugh and have a good time. Then we will have the Upper Valley Music Center doing recitals that are always wonderful, and quite often they're multi-generational. They're not just all little kids or old people like me, and that makes it really rewarding. And then films produced in short form by local filmmakers, including this year one by the family of John O'Brien, the unforgettable John O'Brien from Tunbridge, who brought us Fred Tuttle, is bringing one involving his whole family called Labduction. And you got to come to the FaLaLa to see that. So, Vreni, talk to us a little bit about what's going on in Habitat these days.
Sure, we have a lot of exciting stuff going on. So, for those of you not familiar with Habitat, we believe that everyone deserves a decent place to live. And so we're working on quite a few housing projects right now. We're building a home in Sharon for a family to move into next spring. So we just finished the roof on that, and we're excited to keep working on it. And next year we're going to be building a home in Lebanon as well. And these homes are high efficiency, wonderful homes for families to live in that they then pay a zero interest mortgage on to Habitat. So it's a really cool way for them to build equity in their home in a way that maybe they wouldn't otherwise be able to afford.
Well, I think all of America has just nothing but the highest praise for habitat. And now you have what I call the secret weapon in Andrew,
Yes.
because he came to the Upper Valley to go to Tuck School.
Correct.
And we've been able to keep him here.
Yeah.
And now we have all the energy and the talent that you bring, Andrew. And I want to put you on the spot and ask you the provocative question. You could have gone to Wall Street.
I could have gone to Wall Street.
But here you are on
Here I
Main
am.
Street.
No, this is after I finished my degree at Tuck, I went back to industry for a few years, and then I actually worked in higher ed for a number of years at Tuck and at Harvard Business School. And then last summer I tried to retire and somehow ended up being the executive director for Habitat, and I'm absolutely loving it. This is a great time, great thing to do, and just, it's having an impact.
Well, I've enjoyed working with you because what the audience may not know is that I'm your landlord.
Yes.
And an evolution that started from almost nil to a really nice circumstance for all of us right now.
Yeah.
So I get to see you folks in action. It's a pretty wonderful thing.
Thank you.
So talk a little bit more expansively about what you see for Habitat, say, in the 10-year picture.
So our 10-year goal really is to ramp up from doing 1 or 2 homes a year to 4, 5, or 6, and Randy's going to freak when I say maybe even 10 homes a year. That's our ultimate goal. There's a 5,000 unit shortfall of affordable workforce housing in the Upper Valley. We need to address that. And we believe that the best model is through home ownership. It's not for everybody, but for good long-term community stakeholders, people who are going to be part of the community, owning their home is key to that. And one of the studies we just saw recently is owning your own home adds 10 years to your life. That's a great deal. And we want to help do that. And so we're really now starting to ramp up from just that 1 or 2 homes into something much more large scale for the long term.
So we've referred to home ownership as the American dream.
Yes.
And since you're Canadian, we have to call it the North American dream.
That's fine.
Which is all good, right?
Right. Yes, I'm one of those Upper Valley transplants
Yeah.
that came here truly came from the flatlands to here.
Yeah, well, I have to be reminded once in a while as a 7th generation Vermonter that we're all transplants.
Yes.
Except for the Abenaki, who we so greatly admire. And they're now finally recognizing that.
Yeah.
So maybe we could take off on that theme for a little bit. You've talked about affordable housing, reaching all kinds of groups of people here in the Upper Valley. How do people get into the pipeline with Habitat?
Sure, I can answer that.
Yeah.
So we have a family committee as part of Habitat that works with applicants, reviews applications, and partners with them. So the first step would just be to reach out to the office, learn a little bit more about what we offer, and see if it's a good fit. And then there is an application process, and if a family is not a good fit for the Habitat model, maybe they don't want to own a home, maybe the income isn't quite there, we partner with them in other ways by offering referrals or helping them find an organization that is a good fit for them.
If a person or a couple starting out having heard of Habitat had dawned on them that they wanted to strive for Habitat help, where would they start that process?
By reaching out to us directly, and we would meet with them and talk about how to get there.
So the modern equivalent of that would be to go online, perhaps?
Sure, our website
Research
or
it, and then
email
connect to
us.
the office?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, great. And realistically, if I was a young family starting out and I wanted to be involved with Habitat and I called the office, in view of the fact of how many you do, what's realistic by the time I would be a homeowner?
So
I'll defer to you.
Yeah, that's it. So basically, we can get somebody through the approval process in about 3 to 4 months. It's about 3 stages we go through with the process. We can get them done in 3 or 4 months. Once they're approved, if we have funding available and the right piece of land, then we can potentially build them home and be in that home in about a year. So probably sort of envision 12 to 18 months from when you start the process to when you're in your home as our target time frame.
Well, that's a pretty exciting year and a half
It is.
Yes.
for someone in pursuit of the American dream.
And they will be busy because they'll be going through application process, they'll be going through some training on home ownership and financial literacy, but they also put in 500 hours of sweat equity as part of this process. So it may be they're swinging the hammer, it may be they're making lunches, it may be they volunteer in other ways, but by the time they own the home, they'll have put their blood and sweat and tears into that home.
Just a terrific thing all around. Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to move on beyond that thought, because the excitement I have for this year's FaLaLa is that finally starting to put organizations like Habitat for Humanity together with the arts community in a way that's just wonderfully synergistic, symbiotic. Because the elements that are shown here on this poster reveal that the joy of the FaLaLa review, made possible by these talented arts organizations and produced by the grit and the determination of Habitat, which is what it takes for you guys to succeed, is joined by noteworthy sponsors, including, I'll read them if you don't mind here.
Please.
This year, Ledyard Bank, Bar Harbor Bank and Trust, Mascoma Bank, Roger Clarkson Realtors, and La Valley Building Supply. So this is a model for the arts and the nonprofit philanthropic community to work together. The artists get a wonderful audience because you're looking to fill the house, 240 seats, and nothing but a good family evening of affordable entertainment, you might say. And the organizations that back you up get the exposure. You know, pretty much this is the pitch you gave them, right?
Right, exactly.
When they generously stepped up.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about what it's been like to talk to organizations to merge the nonprofit and the arts with their devotion to community involvement. What's it been like to talk to them?
I can speak to that a little bit. I think it's been really exciting. I think sort of in general in the nonprofit scope, collaboration is really becoming an exciting new thing for nonprofits to really work together. And I think our corporate sponsors, which we so appreciate, have been really, really supportive of that. They see it as a way to kind of, as a win-win. They're supporting a wonderful arts organization, multiple arts organizations, and a nonprofit that's making a difference in our local communities as well.
Well, it's exciting for me and gratifying, I guess you would say, because when I started on this journey 3.5 years ago, I didn't really know where it was going to take us. And we've enjoyed the wonderful professional performances that come through Northern Stage and Shaker Bridge and Dartmouth College and Lebanon Opera House. But this little room accommodates our people, as I like to say it, doing their thing with all the holistic and natural benefits that the arts brings to our lives. But now coupling it together with things like home ownership, or community involvement by our cherished institutions like all these banks and other merchants. It's just nothing but good.
Definitely.
So we're thrilled about this. So I'd like to review here for our audience Friday, December 7th, a day that at one point was to live in infamy.
Right.
It's going to be a little more upbeat than that this year at the Briggs Opera House. The doors will open at 6:30. And the show will start at 7 o'clock. It usually runs about 2 hours. And there's some rules about tickets. Can you talk to us about how we're selling tickets?
I'll talk that one. So we're actually selling online through 22tix.com or .org, I believe. It's on our website. You have a link to it. So you can buy online, or if you want to, you can come to the door and buy at the door.
So again, the starting point would be go to Habitat online.
Yep.
And you can get the ticket accommodation through a little program that's called 22tix.
Correct.
Which stands for ballerina.
Ballerina,
wear.
not 22 as in numbers, but 22 as in what the ballerinas were.
Right, right. It comes to us with the help of White River Ballet Academy.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And the pricing?
Pricing is $15 per person, and children 12 and under are free.
So we really want this to be a family event, such as it has always been.
Yeah.
Right. So Vrenny, as we march into the future together, I just want to thank the Habitat Board for stepping up to take the risk position of being the producer, to set an example that I think will be good for everyone, to show how nonprofits, the arts, and this facility work together to march into the future.
Thank you for your partnership. We really appreciate it.
It's really been an eye-opener the last 3.5 years. As I said, I had no idea it was going to go this way. We started by interviewing 8 arts organizations, and we've accommodated 36 on a recurring basis,
Wow.
hosting music, theater, dance, and film. People seem to like the place because it's served us so well for so long. And we have some exciting prospects for the next year in terms of how we actually operate it and manage it. So this will serve as a model, and we hope other nonprofit organizations will hear this and at least have some sort of seasonal equivalency to what you're doing. So thanks again, and
Thank you.
FaLaLa.
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 Take care.